We've got 10 of the best at Albion Park on Saturday night. It's a good program as well, plenty of depth right throughout the meeting. The free-for-all, which is race number 3, is probably the most interesting race on that program. Action gets underway at 5:42. In this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to catch up with our two leading drivers. Pete McMullen, who's the #1 driver in the country right now, and snapping at his heels in second spot is Nathan Dawson. And as you would expect, they both have really good books of drives coming through on the weekend. Leading reinsman Pete McMullen jumps in the hot seat to go through his book of drives for Saturday night's 10-race program at Albion Park, and he's online with us now. Pete, appreciate the time.
No worries, Chris.
You've got a really busy night coming through on the weekend. It starts with race 1, number 1, Nowhere Creek. This guy's been crying out for a draw. He finally gets it, but you've got Street Appeal out in gate 7. Can you hold the lead from gate 1 there on Saturday night?
We haven't really had him in a spot where we need to use him early, and I suppose Saturday night will be a night to sort of find out a few things and find out what he can do.
His past 4 runs have been terrific. You must be thrilled with the way he's progressing.
Yeah, his splits have been super. He's been off the track and getting held up and hitting the line, really, really strong. So hopefully with the improved gate, hopefully he can run a really good race.
It does look like this race is going to generate pressure. They'll be rolling along here.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's a strong race across the board, and but we're really happy with him, and we think he'll run a good race. So fingers crossed we can just sort of use that gate to full advantage.
Okay, hopefully a good start for you there with Nowhere Creek. Race 2, you'll be on a long shot here. Corey William, he's struggling for his best. You've got the 3-year-old Captain Crusader. Make My Memphis in a really good form. Wahakan Dreamland's a good gate. Is this too tall an order for Corey William?
Yeah, possibly. He did put in a really good run here. I think it was last week here at Redcliffe, and the horse is probably still racing pretty good. Things just don't go his way, and obviously when you're sort of finishing down a track, on a regular sort of basis, they're not going to probably run their best races. But if things happen to go his way, I think he could probably feature, but everything looks to be against him here.
Okay, the Design Line Open is a good race on Saturday night, and you've picked up the drive on Our Uncle Sam. First time behind this great old campaigner. He's won 2 of his last 3. Can he win again on the weekend?
Yeah, obviously he's in good form, and he's a super old horse, and there's no quitting him. He always gives his absolute all. So if we can give him a pretty good trip, I'm sure he'll be thereabouts. It's
an interesting mix, this field, and given how the barrier draws have fallen, it's not clear-cut. Mac Da Vinci's going to be well supported crunch time, but he's got to overcome a second-row draw. Cardles from Heaven was brilliant last time out, and your guy's in really good form. So there's a few sort of scenarios likely to play out here.
Yeah, definitely. And, obviously there's a few sort of go-forward horses, and there's a few there that'll be able to sort of, if they go too hard, be able to sort of really run home over the top of them, horses like Cardles from Heaven. So it's going to be a tricky race, and it's going to be a really good race, not an overly big field, which will make it even more interesting.
All right, race 4, this race 4, the mares. Charming Charlotte last week, she had gate 8. She moves out 1 spot. She's got gate 9 here on Saturday night. What did you make of the run last week?
Probably wasn't her best run last week, but at the same time, nothing really went her way. She was out the back, and she was wide and different things. So prior to that, she'd been really good. Her runs have been really, really good all the way through there. So with a little bit of luck, I think she can definitely feature. She just doesn't seem to be getting the right draws in these sort of races.
Is this a better draw than last week, though?
Yeah, I think so, although last week after the start there was a horse that made a break and were able to get off, but it didn't really work out much better anyway.
Okay. Race number 5, you're down to drive Will the Wizard. He was fresh up last week, just beaten narrowly in the free-for-all against Our Uncle Sam. You would have been thrilled with that effort. Yeah,
we were super proud of him. He got put in that race out of class there, and to finish so close to a Grand Circuit performer, you've got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. Now he drops back to his right grade here on Saturday night. He's got gate 6. You've got Virgil on your outside, who's going for 4 in a row. Franco Hampton's going for 3 in a row. It's still going to be tough for him here on Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. It's it's a strong race, and the draw makes it really tricky. Obviously he does race better when he's up close, but there's a bit of speed inside, and you've got to really sort of work out where we're going to be, and it's going to be hard to map out, and sometimes you can be a little headstrong, and you've got to just go with him a bit too. So it's going to be tricky, but I do think class will sort of be a big factor. Obviously, he drops back in class, and I think that will be a big help.
Okay. Race number 6, you're down to drive Vinny Chase. He's been going really well. Was he just a little flat last week?
Yeah, probably wasn't quite as good last week. Did get a little aggressive there early last week and over-raced a little bit. Fingers crossed he doesn't do it this week, and we can sort of, hopefully he travels just nice, and hopefully he can finish off strong again.
Where do you want to land soon after the start here, gate 4?
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky because probably haven't been sort of drawing that sort of scenario. So, it makes sort of we're going to need a decision early whether we sort of slide across to get a spot or we tuck back in.
Okay. Race number 7, you're down to drive Lombo Heaven. He just got picked off last week. Did you think he won last week?
Nah, I sort of knew I got beat right in the line. He was in front everywhere by the post, and we were pretty happy with his performance. They were all positive splits all the way through, and the winner had a really nice trip, and we were happy that only got beat by the smallest bearable margin. We sort of thought going into the race it could have been bigger.
Yeah. Now here with gate 8, only horse off the second row. Nürburgring's the horse you follow out. Is he a chance of holding up from the inside?
I think so. Yeah, obviously he's sort of a horse that likes to sort of get out and roll along. So, depending on what sort of pressure he gets, he possibly could be the leader, which would mean we should get a good run.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be far away either way, Lombo Heaven. He's going well.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, he had a bit of an angle campaign there, and he raced well down there, and he just went down there to get away from the carnival up here, which probably would have missed out in the start otherwise.
Yeah. Race number 8, Double or Nothing. This guy's close to a win. In fact, he's banging down the door. Can Saturday night be his night?
Well, we've been saying it for a while. He's racing, absolutely amazing, this horse, but for some reason he can never sort of get past the post first. So, I don't think it's anything he's doing. He's sort of racing really good. His splits are good every week, and last week was a huge run. So, fingers crossed this week can be the week. So
we just expect the same from Double or Nothing this Saturday night?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I think he probably even raced a bit better last week. He hadn't raced for about 3 weeks, so there's a chance he could even race better than last week.
All right. You've got 9 drives, your final drive in the trot, and it looks to be a great chance as well. Doug, he was super good last week.
He was super good. His start's all about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. But if he goes away, he's going to be a really good chance.
Okay. Do you expect him to get away? Can he do it again?
Well, he was still a bit scratchy last week. We were just lucky that he was able to sort of not lose too much ground. So fingers crossed we can keep working on that and keep improving that. And if we can sort of get on top of that, he's going to do a really good job.
He stands on the outside of the front line on Saturday night. Last week, 2,600. He's standing at the 2,100 metre start point, so right in front of the crowd. Is that a good thing or a bad thing for him?
Well, I think it depends, what people think. Some people think he's looking in the crowd and getting distracted, but, I think it'll be a help to him, the 2,100 metre start that only has the rail there, and he can sort of stand there and be casual up against that fence, and then just, we can turn him and hopefully go away trotting.
All right. Leader Peter, what is the drive you are most looking forward to on Saturday night?
It's a bit of a tricky question. I think there's a lot of good chances, but probably no standouts. But, I think Nowhere Creek's probably the one that stands out, been knocking on the door.
Okay, race 1, number 1, Nowhere Creek. Pete, as always, really appreciate the time. We'll see you in action on the weekend.
No worries, Chris. Thank you.
Nathan Dawson also has a busy night in front of him on Saturday night, 10-race program at Albion Park, and he's joined us to go through his drives. Nathan, appreciate the time.
Nah, good to be on, Chris.
Street Appeal race 1, he's got gate 7. Can he lead?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when he draws the front he can, so can't see why he can't this week again.
Were you disappointed on Tuesday when he was run over?
Oh, not really. He probably had to work a little bit harder than I thought. Usually he can zip straight across, but he stuck on well, so, should be better from it.
Black Hawk Joe was the horse that conquered you on Tuesday. Is he the obvious horse to beat again?
I think so. I know last time we backed him up, he raced really well, so I think he should be even better Saturday night.
Okay, well, that's Street Appeal in race number 1. Race 2, this looks a great drive on paper. This is a 3-year-old that's doing an amazing job. He's been so consistent. Captain Crusader, placed in the Queensland Derby, runaway wins at his past 2. He's got gate 7, meeting the older rivals here. How do you sort of assess this race?
Yeah, I mean, he's a nice horse and, he's going to go places. So he keeps stepping up to the mark every time we ask, so I can't see why he won't do it again in this race.
How does this race play out early? Where do you want to be? Are you likely to go forward? Do you just float off the arm, or do you go straight back towards the tail?
No, I think we just float off the arm, see what happens underneath us. So we'll go forward eventually, but we won't be coming out too hard.
Last week, he put away a really good field. There was plenty of talent in that field. How did he feel at the line?
Yeah, he's good. He's still strong at the line, and he had to burn hard early over the long trips. So he was doing better than anything else in the race, so he was good.
All right, so you're a big fan of Captain Crusader. He's got some big targets just around the corner. We wish Connections the best of luck with him. Race number 3, his stablemate Crunch Time. Speaking of consistent performers, this guy's right at the top of the list here. He's in a purple patch of form. Beaten at his past 2, facing a second row draw here on Saturday night. Many are coming up with Mac Da Vinci. Can you get over the top of Mac Da Vinci?
Yeah, I think I can. It was a little bit disappointing last start. We thought he might have stuck on and nearly won that race, but he's had a few hard runs and he's just been freshened up, and we think he's back to his best again.
Okay. Mac Da Vinci, the fact that he's got that front row draw, it's an obvious advantage. Do you think they're going to roll along in this race, or they mightn't go as hard as what they have been in previous starts?
Oh, no, I mean, they roll along. I'll probably get off the fence at the start and put him into the race, so we'll definitely be rolling along in it.
Okay. One out, do you think Crunch Time's a better horse than Mac Da Vinci?
I do. I think he's a better horse. I mean, Mac Da Vinci was good last week, but he still probably had his chance. So, I mean, if that was Crunch Time, you think he probably might have won that race.
Okay. Last week, you were aboard Our Uncle Sam. You're sticking solid with Crunch Time for obvious reasons, but just on Our Uncle Sam, what sort of field did he give you last week?
Yeah, very good. I think he's coming back to his best. He's got an Inter Dominion campaign coming up, so he's got to be near the best. But he probably didn't deserve to win that race with the way the race was run, but he ran a good last half and he was too good over the top of him.
Okay, that promises to be a good race. The Open there, race number 3 on Saturday night. Race 4, you were down for both of Colin Godden mares, and they're both in really good form. Miss Victoria's won a past 3, AJ Breezy Rose. Was it your decision, and if it was it a difficult decision to pick one over the other?
Yeah, it was my decision. It wasn't the easiest decision, but I think Miss Victoria in there at Albion Park, she just lacks that bit of high speed. So in at Albion, a lot of horses can sit on you and still zip past you. So that's why I went with the Delaware.
Okay. AJ Breezy Rose in really good form. A winner 2 starts ago. Solid running second last time out. Is the trick in this race finding a pretty handy spot as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I think so. She's drawn in 4 and it's probably the best gate she's had for a while. So hopefully we can find a handy spot there and, produce it when we need to.
Okay. Race number 5 on Saturday night. You're on number 5, Squire. Many are going to talk this race up with Will the Wizard Virgil and then to a lesser degree Franco Hampton. Can Squire get across lead and then give you options thereafter?
I actually think he's a really good chance. He's been going well, and his last start he was in the chair and over 21 and he wasn't far away. So I think he'll take some catching on Saturday night.
Yeah, just on that last run, it's a good point you raised. It was 2,138 metres. He's a better miler, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. He's not known for the longer trips, and he stuck it out well against quality horses. So he's got the speed to cross the ones inside, I reckon, and I'll be rolling along and they'll have to try and catch me.
Okay. You saw plenty of Will the Wizard last week because you run him down with Our Uncle Sam. He's dropping in grade, so he does look well placed. Virgil shooting for 4 in a row. They're the obvious horses to beat, but like you said, if you're going to be in front rolling, it's not going to be easy.
No, not at all. Will the Wizard was good. He had cover, so if he happens to have to park up outside me in a 53-mile rate, it's probably survival of the fittest.
Race 6, here's another good chance because this guy's absolutely flying. Our Bondi Beach for trainer Greg Franklin. He shoots for 3 in a row. Has he surprised you with that resurgence in form lately?
He's always been thereabouts, without a lot of luck. So luck's finally going his way and he's, doing the job. So I'm not overly surprised. He's just getting nice luck and nice trips.
Yeah, he's had a bit of luck with barrier draws. But in saying that, though, he's attacking the line, where in the past he could be a little bit suspect at really savaging the line, but he's been strong in his past couple now.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair to say. He's probably, going a little better than what he was, but when they're in form, they tend to stick in form. So hopefully, the mile 21 doesn't worry him too much, and he should be there again with a good draw.
How do you rate this field compared to what he beat last week?
Yeah, I think it's, around about the same. Sean Trey's in two there, so it's about the same field, but he's going well, and I think he should be close.
Okay, well, that's a good push there for our Bondi Beach. Race number 7 on Saturday night. Nürburgring, is he capable of leading all of the way?
I think so. His last start, he had no luck whatsoever, and the start before that, he was probably just short of a run. So Steve's increased his work a bit, and we think we got him back on track again. So I think with a good draw, he should be in the money. All
right. And in the last race, you've picked up the drive on Northern Muscle. He's a very well-performed trotter. He's got a 20-metre handicap over the 2,138 metres. Not easy by any stretch, but at his best, he's right in the mix here.
Yeah, I think so. If he's close to the mark and he puts his best foot forward, it's not the strongest trot that's going around. So, being off 20 is probably the only problem. But I think if he does everything right, he'll be in the money as well.
You have driven him previously, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I don't think I was far away on him. So, if I do it again, hopefully we can go good.
All right, well, it's a big book of drives there for you on Saturday night, as we would expect. You're sitting second in the National Premiership. Pete McMullen has the nose in front. You're climbing the ladder. What's your best drive there on Saturday night?
I think I got a really good book overall. I should be in the money with most of them, but I'm going to go with Captain Crusader.
Captain Crusader, race 2, number 7. Nathan, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Good to be on.
A big thanks to both Pete and Nathan for giving up their time and insights for their book of drives coming through on Saturday night. And I think that premiership race is going to go right down to the wire. Pete's got a pretty healthy lead, but it's going to be good viewing over the next couple of months. Looking for a best bet on Saturday night, the free-for-all is the main race. There's no doubt about it. I know Nathan gave us a good push with Crunch Time. There's plenty that want to tip Mac Da Vinci, and he's currently the favourite with Tab right now. Just to add further confusion to this race, terrific value with Cardles from Heaven. Why can't he win again? He went off at big odds last time out when he was able to sail down the outside. He beat Colt 31. The small field's going to suit him. He's only got to find a spot. And this week, he's got the services of Grant Dixon. I think he's a terrific value play again in the free-for-all. So we're going with Cardles from Heaven. If you are having a bet this weekend, please do so responsibly. We'll see you trackside at Albion Park. The first getting underway at 5:42.